it was 341,795. For 2020, it's 346,597. Now, I noticed that a number of farms are putting up solar panels. And my understanding is those panels are worth $500,000 per acre. So a 1,000-acre solar farm is now worth $500 million. So when is that going to be put in as real estate or real and personal property? Is that a rate?
Well, I don't think it's going to go in at that rate because that's not what, I forgot the exact amount on that farm in Bromwell, but it's much lower than that as far as the total amount of the value that's being put in on the farm. Do you know what that figure is, Pravina, by any chance?
I do not. Ms. Darlene, do you know?
Yeah, the land itself is in at $6,000 an acre.
Right.
But the farm itself, the panels are under that memorandum of understanding, so they're not going to pay that total amount.
I know that.
But I don't have a figure because they were not complete. And until they're complete, you don't put them on.
I mean, I think that's going to come in under next year's.
It will come in under next year.
It will come in under next year. The memorandum of understanding, when we agreed for the solar panels, once they complete the solar panels and they're up and running, is when the tax begins to levy on all the personal equipment that's been put on the farm. And there's been an agreement that's already been voted on as to what that tax rate will be, but it's partially based upon the total amount of money they spend for all those solar panels, and the amount that they spend is substantially less than what they initially said they were going to spend. It's going to be less than what they initially said, but it won't come in until next year.
But how much is that? I said $500,000. I said that because I studied the other panels, other systems going in the other counties.
Right.
And on average, they say it's worth $500,000 per acre. Plus, I want to put some over on our farm. I had to study it. And
Right.
It's $500,000 an acre.
I don't know the figure again. Do you remember what it was, Brett? I know we got, I wanted to say, wasn't it?
I think it's $60 million.
Right.
How much?
$60 million.
$60 million?
Right.
That's substantially lower. So are they going to be taxed as a farm or as now an industry?
An industry.
An industry?
They did get a tax break,
What was that break?
about 50%,
So they're going to do 50% of 60 million?
something in that range, yes.
Well, I
That's a
think,
table on it, yes.
okay, well, I think that we've been lowballed because that's not the value that those panels, because I tried to put it up on my farm and we couldn't afford it, of course, but it was $500,000 per acre. So I think that we need to recheck that because we don't want to get took by these big corporations coming in here and not paying their taxes, considering the problem that we've had collecting taxes from the poor people. We should definitely collect taxes from these corporations that's coming in here, putting up this money to make a lot of money off of this county. We should get that tax money because we can fix these roads.
I share your concern on that. I mean, we had the votes on it. I mean, it's already been voted on, quite frankly. I was not in agreement with the tax break we gave, but it was what the commission voted. It's already been voted on through a normal meeting in the process of hearings, and it's already been agreed upon on that particular solar farm to give the tax break that's been given. That's what's in place.
What's the reasoning for giving them a tax break?
For them to agree that they would come and put it out there.
So in other words, we gave it away, so they come and do it.
We gave some break. We didn't give it away, but we gave some break. Now, I mean, again, my feeling was, well, I don't give a break to someone else. I wasn't really wanting to, but the commission still as a whole voted, not my vote, but the total vote was to give a break, and there's a schedule that gives it. It's not uncommon. Almost every solar farm in every county in the state has given some type tax break in order to get the people to come. In other words, they don't tax them at 100% of the value. And that was what was agreed upon here. And so you're gonna get about half of what would have been the tax value if you taxed them totally at what the value was. Now, saying that, they indicate they would not come if that were the case. They were not gonna put the solar farm out there, so.
Well, my problem is, once you take 1,000 acres out of farming, when that solar farm is up, there's only one person that's gonna have to run it. There'll be no more jobs on that 1,000 acres. Whereas they could provide jobs for 2, 3, 4 people and 5 or 6 doing peanut season. But now it's been taken out of production.
This wasn't taken out of production, no, this was a woodland that had been cut over, so nobody was working there. But I agree with you, it's not producing any jobs.
Not producing no jobs. And so we should get the money from the taxes if it ain't producing no jobs, because we got problems with these roads. And we need money. And these people coming in here, tearing up the road. I saw what they did, tearing up the roads with all that equipment they brought in here. Tearing up the roads and we don't get no benefit? I don't understand that.
Any other comments? Anything else about tax ideas? All right, if not,